Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, you're back with me, and you're in the zone. And this time, I have a couple guests. I have Pony Lover. I have a nice lady who has her glasses and looks like she's a monk, and my also love interest is Oso. So everyone, say hello.
What up? Color monk.
Never mind that, Yahoo. I, however, am not a pony lover. So, yeah.
And what you mean guests? Buddy, this is all of our show.
I know that, but again, who has the glasses? Who has the hoodie? Who has the Oso? Oh, that's me. So it's all good up in here.
If I was
Okay.
melting hot, I would
Oh my God. Oso is turning red. She's really turning red.
That's my goal. That is my goal, and it's actually working. High five to me. But anyways, enough about my jibber jabbering. Yes, we got Whedon, my awesome brother-in-law.
What?
You know what I mean. Anyways.
I would be your brother-in-law if you married somebody who was related to me.
All right.
Yeah, right?
All right. Fine. Brother from another. There you go. Happy now? Happy now? Just ruin the whole surprise. Anyways, and we got the nice and lovely Emmy, who is over there looking like the monk of all monks, the baddest monk of all time. Yes, that is true, folks. And then we got Oso, who's looking dapper with those nice glasses, and also do-rag. And yes, folks, she's mine. You don't get to have her. She's mine. But enough about my talking. I'll let you guys introduce yourself, so please.
Well, you just introduced us. We don't really need to.
Well,
Okay,
no,
fine.
no.
Oh, and this
I'm gonna say it.
right?
I'm gonna say it. Yeah. My name is Charles Whedon. Everybody calls me Whedon, and I'm gonna take a swig of my Gatorade.
Gay.
Torade. Hey, I have Wait. I'm grayscale now. I have an orange drink, you just can't tell.
And Emmy. Not Emmy, also. It's your turn.
Now he getting us mixed up.
I know, right? Hello.
Hey, I can't tell from pretty faces sometimes. It kind of gets me all delusional. Anyways, folks, now we're going to talk about pretty much the greatest show out there in sci-fi history is Orphan Black Season 2. And then we're going to talk about Season 3, Episode 1.
Well, there
Yes, folks.
are other like fantastic like sci-fi shows like Star Trek.
You know what? Shut up over there, okay? We don't care about your little Star Trek nonsense or your Stargate bullshit.
I
Anyways,
like Star Trek, depending on the series.
okay, true. Next Generation was badass. I love Next Generation.
9 Voyager. Original series is good, but hard to get into because of how old it is, and Enterprise can go kiss my ass for all I care.
Hey, look, I like Next Generation. Generation is my thing. I'm all the way.
Yeah, Worf.
But anyways,
I'm partial to Deep Space Nine. But anywho.
Anyways, back to the great show, Orphan Black Season 2. We're going to pretty much go over some things that we liked about it and pretty much or dislike it. We're going to pretty much go all over the place because it's a great show and pretty much we just want to have fun with it. And for season...
I think for Season 2, I think I speak for everyone when I say this. Out of all the characters in Season 2, the one we enjoy the most is a happy gay man who happens to be the foster brother of our main character.
Yes.
Love Felix.
I love Felix too. He's that character who can be a stereotype, but you also like him because he can break away from that stereotype and be that serious character.
Exactly.
He is the gay stereotype, and he's all up in your face about it. I mean, hell, that scene in Season 2 where he like openly starts seducing the coroner's assistant, basically it starts becoming softcore porn, and.
Exactly.
I gotta say, it's like, well, look at you, Felix, getting all down and dirty. Okay, have fun. I'm gonna go in the next room and wait until you're finished.
Right. and then we see a lot more iterations behind Allison, how she pretty much is recovering or pretty much dealing with the fact that she killed her quote unquote moderator, which is not really her moderator.
Monitor.
Moderator. Look,
Moderator.
hey, they're all gonna be the same thing. Thank you very much. Anyways,
The
folks.
stuff that went on with Ansley, that was difficult to watch.
How
I
so?
loved it.
I loved it too. She was a bitch.
Well, no, her scarf gets sucked down into a garbage disposal, and it strangles her. And for me, on TV shows, when strangling has actually happened, it's always been difficult for me to watch. No matter
That's
where
the
it
thing,
is.
that makes it so interesting, though. That makes it so badass.
The thing is that the actual act of when Ansley, or whatever her name is, died, that's not the point. It's how Allison learned to accept it, learned to live with it after the fact.
Well, it's a long process, though.
Having to cope with the trauma and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was great. And also how she was shit-faced drunk during the play, fell off the stage, and then she woke up in rehab.
Oh my God, I love that scene. Yeah. But like, enough about our talk. What about you, Oso? What did you pretty much liked about the character or the season itself, or season 2?
I feel like the beginning was like what Charles said. It was pretty good. I mean, when Allison woke up and was trying to give orders, like, I don't understand. Like, Dr. Needy, I gave a contract and I don't understand why I'm here. I demand to speak to him. I was like, not realizing, nah, boo, they ain't got nothing to do with that.
I demand to speak to Dr. Leak. It's like, who's that? Your dealer? And I'm like, what? Like, God, you're in rehab.
She's like, she don't know what you're talking about. It's like, you in rehab. And then she's like, say what?
I know, right? But again, her character had one of the most interesting character developments next to Helena, because she goes through a lot. Well, she had to go through rehab because she was a drunk alcoholic due to what she has done. And so we all learned that she has to accept it for what it is, and also we learn more about Donnie, which is like, wow, Donnie became a really interesting character now. No, in fact, he was a prick. He was a really interesting prick, and now we know why.
But I love when Donnie has Dr. Leakey in the car, and he's like, look, you need to do da-da-da-da-da. And then he's all threatening with the gun. And he's totally not going to do a damn thing with that gun. And then accidentally goes off and kills Leakey.
But he's by accident. He didn't even mean to. He's like, I quit. Boom. And then he's like, I feel so bad for him. He killed him in that car. It's all dirty now, and it's raining.
Look, he freaks out. He puts him in the trunk, and so then he goes and Allison's like, we have a problem, blah, 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 blah. So they start talking, and he's like, well, let me show you this. And then so she's upset that there's blood in the back of the car.
I still blame her because she's like, if you're going to keep the body, you need to make sure it's wrapped up tight so the evidence will be shown in the car.
Like, how do you know this?
I don't know. But she wasn't. No, that's just it, though. The way that she came off was like she was annoyed that he stained the car with blood. Or that he in general.
What is trying to get out?
I never did this before. I never killed anyone before, so why do you think I should know what to do?
I mean,
oh my God, it was funny.
You don't have the blood staying in the car because it makes a mess, and then evidence shown on that LBD light will show all up on that stuff. An ultraviolet light will show all that.
I mean, she's like, how does Allison know this? How does she really know all this shit? Like, wait, how do you know all this?
She's a crazy cleaner though, because she keeps everything so clean. But it bagged me up though, because then so they wrap him up and they put him in the big freezer, and then they're like, oh my gosh, let's do it. Where on the freezer?
He's like, no, you idiot. That's where the kids eat the ice cream from.
But then what they did after that...
It won't smell if it's in the freezer.
Yeah. What they did after that, when they took the jackhammer and everything, Donnie was trying to use the jackhammer. It's like, come on, this thing's like moving all over the place. Then Allison takes the jackhammer, starts using it properly like a badass, and just looks at him going like, what's up? Yeah.
That's how you do it, dumbass. But at the same time...
Towards the mid part of the episode when they're trying to hide Mr. Leakey or Dr. Leakey's body, he started to come into his own and I like that. He's like telling Angie, Deborah, whoever, Detective Angie, to be like, come near my family. If you come near my family, I'm going to kill you. Thank you, but
he didn't say kill you. If he had said kill you, she could have arrested him for a death threat. No, what he said.
But then she could have been arrested for impersonating all this.
What he said was, if you don't stay away from my family, I will bury you. That doesn't mean that he was going to kill her. It just means that he's going to bury her professionally, meaning that he's going to put her career through so much hell.
Well, I retract my last statement. Then he did say that.
Well.
But wait a minute, hold up. He may, when he said, I will bury you, he could mean that in more than one way.
Well, no, I think what he meant was a lawsuit. I think he would bury her in a lawsuit.
Well, pretty much that.
He could sue her. He wouldn't have to kill her. He could just sue her with enough, and he would be able to get the lawsuit would go into his favor because she was surveying on his life without a warrant.
Right.
And so, yeah.
And also, really quickly before we leave from Donnie, his character became like a buffoon when he actually figured like Dr. Leakey lied to him and all that other stuff, stupid shit, and also put his wife in rehab, and he got really aggravated. That's how he pretty much accidentally killed Dr. Leakey. And when that was all played out, and she was already out of rehab, by the way, and he did all of this, and Don became a badass in front of Allison's eyes. They pretty much had sex, and that was really interesting though, because that character, we didn't know that much about the character in season 1, but in season 2 he got so much screen time that we all liked him for what he is. And now in not in season 3, but more in season 2, that we still like this character because he is Donnie. He's an idiot, but he's a loyal idiot. So I still like that character to the very end. And that was a good thing too. I like how the show pretty much turns around, make the characters that we don't like a hell of a lot more. And so we're gonna go into now is that Helena. And I know, guys, some of you want to talk about it too. Oh goodness. And oh my, I was trying to thought. No, thank you very much, Amy. Anyways, but we're gonna talk about Helena, and pretty much explain her whole life story within season 2, and why we like her and why we dislike her, and things like that. So to start the floor, I want Amy to go first.
I can't really say that I dislike her. I dislike things that she did. And see, since I've watched season 1 and season 2 twice, so I can't remember necessarily what certain things if they happen at the end of season 1 or sometime in season 2. But I forget if we mentioned the birth mother of Helena and Sarah last week or not, because I forget.
Yes, we did.
She was.
She was African American, by the way.
Right. So we had her. She's just this woman that they said, be a surrogate for us, please. We really want to have a child. And then she started thinking, stuff is kind of weird. Maybe I don't want to give them these children because even though they're not biologically mine, I've carried them for 9 months, so I want to be sure they're safe. So she gave one to the church and she gave one to the state. Figuring, separate them, let them go their own ways and grow up and have lives, whatever. So Helena had this really shitty childhood, grew up really bad because she grew up in a convent, and like the stereotype of growing up in a convent is that you're really treated badly, and then that guy got a hold of her and he's telling her, oh well, you're the original of these clones and these clones need to be dead. Tomas, he's one of the Proletheans. You see him a little bit in the first season, but then you see him more in season 2. You see him in season 1 when she's really injured and he's helping her like sew herself back up before she puts more etchings on her back to find the wings.
So yeah, stop it right there, Amy. Tomas is actually in season 1 more than season 2. Tomas was only in season 2 in 1 episode.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was killed.
Yeah, but there was more. It seemed to me like the episode in season 2 that he was in, you got more information about him than season 1 is what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was killed by one of those bolt guns.
We didn't know who he was, what his purpose was in season 1 so much.
Right.
But, so he's telling, he's going and he's telling Helena, they made these horrible clones of you. You're the only one who's real. You need to go and kill them. So, she's got her little sniper rifle. We figure, when you see her and she's in that building and Sarah and I kind of think that it was Art who was
It was Art. Yes.
It was Art. Okay. They go and she's like, "Come on, you're my sister. Stop! Don't do this. Don't shoot." And she's got that big ass gun, and she's up on the thing in the big chair.
High powered.
Yeah. So that's probably the same gun that she used to kill the German.
Well,
I think so
what I'm
too.
curious about is that it's a powerful sniper rifle, but to be able to use a sniper rifle that powerful, I would assume that you would have to have some form of training.
Right.
Oh, yeah, she was trained.
I don't think that she did. I don't think that she had that kind of training.
But
she's going to learn that kind of training from a convent? Really?
No. Yeah. Tomas took her from the convent and had her trained to do all of that stuff because he wanted to use her because the Proletheans don't like the clones. The Proletheans want the clones dead, and in the end, they were just going to kill her after they had her kill all of the other ones.
Yeah.
Right.
The original plan was.
And then, of course, in season 2, we find out that the original is actually dead.
Well,
there is no original. They're all
there is no original. They didn't really say it.
No. When Duncan was talking about mentioning the fire at the lab, one of the casualties of the fire was the original genome, the original source.
the original source, yes, but it was created. There wasn't
Right.
like one person who they took the DNA from and made more of that
Yeah.
person.
And then
Like,
how can they be clones? I mean, that's what cloning is.
Well, it's more complex, really.
It's to create a copy of a living person.
but they didn't have. That's not how it comes across. That's
Yeah,
not.
they don't really say it at all. Like,
That's
you
not how they're talking about it. I know in general when we hear about cloning, real true cloning, that's what they say, like Dolly the sheep or Dottie or Dolly the sheep, whatever. There was an actual clone. There was an actual sheep that they copied and made a genetic identical of. But they're alleging in this show that they didn't have a person and then made more people. It was like they had the genes and they actually spliced all this crap together and created them.
So
That's how the show is coming.
Bioengineering is what it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So Helena, so she's going through all of this stuff. So when she goes and she kills the mom, the birth mom, her surrogate carrier,
Amelia.
it pissed me off because I really wanted to see more from that character. I really like that actress.
Same here.
I thought that it would be interesting to see if she could bring anything else to the table, which I really think they could have used her as kind of a gateway into a little bit more about certain things from the past. They could still do flashbacks because she would have been alive back then. But I was upset that Helena killed her, but at the same time, you got to think about, she's not really right in the head because of what she's been through.
Yeah, she's screwed up.
And she sees it as, oh, so you gave me to the church treated me like shit, i.e., you let them treat me like shit, so I'm going to kill you. But you can't really hate her for that.
Yeah, I don't really hate her for it because she was...
I was mad too. I was mad when Helena killed Amelia, mostly because I wanted to see the character development for Sarah, that she finally found the woman that gave birth to her.
Yes.
So that would have been fantastic for her character development. And then, no. Knife to the gut.
But that was actually interesting, though, because her character, in fact, it was like a black and white to her. When she got more developed in season 2, we understand why she became this character. And when she became when she actually got she became very, what's that word? Very emotional when Sarah pleaded with her not to kill Rachel, because if she killed Rachel, something's going to happen to Kira. So when she put all that in the factor, she did kind of weep for she going to hurt her sister by killing one of her other sisters. And so this became like a really interesting puzzle, but also interesting story for Helena. And that's why I love her so much, because when we can see her human side, she's amazing. We can see her fighting style or anything like that. She is still amazing because she's a character who's just all over the place, but at the same time, we understand why. And not Emmy, but also, what did you like about Helena, or disliked about her, that is?
Well, I like Helena for her rawness. I like her for her I feel when Helena is not trying to push people away, when she's actually trying to embrace this is happening, when she doesn't feel like she has to fight, when she actually can feel safe, like to jump a little bit on season 1 when she was talking to Kira and Kira treated her okay. She didn't feel nervous about her. And I think Helena likes kids too. I think she as crazy and anticky and quote unquote scary she can be, when it comes around kids, she don't act like that. You can see she's very calming towards kids. And then on season 2, when I agree with her every step of it, when she was when she was like interacting a little bit with the young girl and the Proletheans, one of the little kids there. She kept sticking her tongue out and stick her tongue out, just playing with one another, and she like touching her hair. And one of the mothers in that convict, I guess.
Compound.
Well,
You can
not
say
convict, but
compound.
like cult, where she's like slapping her and said, "Didn't I tell you to go take a bath?"
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, "What the heck? She didn't do anything." She's just like, "I'm touching her hair. Do as you're told." And then she goes off. And then she choked her and said, "If you ever touch, basically in my words, if you ever touch her, a cat will gut you like a fish. Don't
Yeah.
touch her like that. You remind me of someone in the convict. And if you touch that girl again, or any of you little kids again, I'm gonna gut you like a fish. Go on
That
with
was
your
so
business." And then
badass.
go on.
Love.
I would probably do the same thing. She didn't do anything. The girl didn't sass you. She just was in the moment. You know how kids can be. They may not listen to you immediately. They just, in their own zone and stuff. You just could have told her, you don't play right now. It's time. You didn't have to take it to that extreme. And it triggered something in Helena where she remembered how she was treated in the convent, and what I can tell, it wasn't very nice. So
Right.
that just took her in that defense mode for that little girl. And that's also one thing I like about she'll defend someone who she cares about. She'll defend them very well. Where all her tools in her tool belt, will defend. What I don't
Right.
like about Helena, she reacts before she thinks.
That is true. That is very, very true.
I did not like that she killed Amelia. I was so pissed. I'm like, why'd you kill her? And then I do understand her reasoning, but it's not. And she
Yeah.
thought more into it, thinking how Sarah thinks about it, because Sarah wasn't mad like, why didn't you keep us? Duh. She understood what was going on. How far for Helena, she did it. All she knew is you put me there, and how she treated them, not knowing. She was just trying to just make them and not be a part of the scientific stuff, trying to give them a life. However, like Amelia didn't know that Sarah was going to be awarded the state so much and have to rep for herself, fend for herself, have a kid, and not really be there for her kid for months at a time, almost a year, 11 months before she met Kira again, because she was
Right.
doing her lost outsiders type of thing. So not be a mom to her kid and all this stuff. Amelia wasn't trying to have that life for her, but she was trying to give her a chance, because we don't know. She could have ended up as another Rachel, for all you know.
Right.
Or
This is
worse.
true. She could have been another Rachel, which this leads me to another it leads us to the end. I'll get to the ending later, and I was just going to talk about a little bit more about Rachel, Mrs. S, Sarah, and Kira, because all their storylines are pretty much all coherent, because they got something to pretty much gain and lose. And it's pretty much, Rachel was like a Pinocchio story. She was trying to be a real girl in a sense of way, because she can't give birth. None of the clones can really give birth except Sarah and Helena. And that made Rachel a little bit more jealous and pretty much envy Sarah the most, because she get to have a child. And from the ending of season 1, she was trying to make a contract to the other clones that if you make this contract, you're fine. However, it was pretty much, if you got this contract, you're our property. And so Kazima and Sarah did not sign it, because they knew Dynalab was going to pretty much trick them and pretty much do anything they want to, which is kind of fucked up.
Okay, I have a question. Okay, this infertility that's going on with the clones, I think it's pretty safe to assume that it's whatever this respiratory disease is, it's causing the infertility, like the polyps showing up in the lungs and everything.
The infertility was on purpose, because
Yeah, I know, but don't get it mentioned saying that they had to do this whole thing with the polyps because it was the least invasive way to create infertility.
yeah.
And
Right.
so
And so that's probably what's making her sick.
And so since Helena and Sarah are now they are fertile, does that mean that they're immune to whatever this disease is?
That's
Yes.
what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Yes, they're very unique. They're very, very unique. Because they're like,
I'm pretty certain that even if like even if Sarah does end up start coughing up blood and that kind of stuff, I'm pretty sure that since she's the main character, she'll be fine.
but here's the thing though. Go ahead.
The thing that I find weird is that why is it that Cosima is the only one who is getting sick? We don't see Allison getting sick. We didn't see me get sick. Now, they did say Katia, before Katia got shot, she had been sick.
Well, she was very sick.
But
we can safe to say that we know there's several other clones. There's like over 50. We saw Jennifer. Who else was on there? Some chick in the
Tony.
Hold on, there's
Tony Antoinette, aka Tony. We know other clones, except for the most the main character ones. So there's been
Right.
other clones. Not all of them got sick and died. They're all probably living
Well,
in this right
Zima's
now.
a,
It's
Zima's
only
a
certain
retro-
ones, at least 3 that we know that 2 died. One was dying but got shot. Jennifer died from the disease, and Seema is dying. So it's only a few of them that got that trait that they're trying
genetic
to
trait.
be monitored every year or two, every month or something like that to make sure they don't get it. But right now,
Right.
I think it's only a few of them that do have it.
Okay.
What that trait is that messes with their autoimmune system is what they're trying to figure out what it is and how they can destroy it or cure it.
I have a list, and there are apparently more that are coming, so I didn't include them in my list because I didn't want to know about them yet. But I have Tony Sawicki, who was Antoinette, the trans clone. He wasn't getting sick. Sarah has not gotten sick. Rachel, we didn't see her getting sick yet. Katia, who is deceased, but she was killed, she was sick.
Right.
Jennifer Fitzsimmons and Jonica Zingler are both deceased, but were they killed by Helena, or did they die from the sickness? We don't know.
Jennifer
Right.
did get sick. She was sick. She died. That's what Cosima and Delphine were examining. They were examining Jennifer's body.
Jennifer,
Right.
okay.
Wait
There
a
was
minute.
Danielle Fournier. Cosima is sick. The little girl
Kara.
we see,
Charlotte?
who we see in season 2 finale.
Oh, yes, Charlotte. Yes.
She's not going to be sick yet because she's only 8. They were all
Well, right.
Beth was not sick yet. Ariana Giordano, we just know.
Beth was sick. She was depressed, which is kind of new and kind of weird because.
But she was depressed because she found out, oh my God, I'm a clone, this and that. What am I going to do? She went and she killed that Asian lady who we're still trying to figure out how she plays into it.
Well, she's a Palithian. She's a Palithian. So she was going to kill her.
But wait a minute. Beth wasn't coughing up blood and all that. She was a marathon runner.
Right. But it's still weird, though, because she didn't really... Because Cosima and all the other clones didn't feel depression when they found, like, oh, we have other clone sisters. We have, like, other sisters. She was the only individual who was depressed and wanted to kill herself. So this was the really... She was really keen character as well, who could things all along. She didn't have to kill herself, but she did.
But you have to think about the fact that even though they are genetic identicals, they're all so very different. They all grew up very differently. So they're all going to perceive things differently.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah's like, well, shit, I got sisters. Because wasn't Sarah the first one to really call everybody a sister?
Yes, I believe.
Yes, I think so.
I thought Helena was.
I can't remember. That's a really good question.
No, because once Sarah said, hey, meathead, this is the woman that we came from, blah, 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 we were born together out of her, then she was like, so you're my sister. That's when she started calling her, that's when Helena started saying sister. But
that's
Sarah,
true, because Helena kept saying, we are one, we are the same. That's okay, I get what you're saying. So technically, no,
like
it was Sarah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, really quickly, Sarah and Kira and Helena both share one thing that's pretty much very unique. Pretty much their healing factor is pretty much more advanced than normal, because we see Kira get run over and though she was going to die, but she makes a full recovery, even with a bone transplant too, and that's not easy to recover from sometimes.
Not a bone transplant, dude. A bone marrow transplant.
You know what I mean. Shut up, Whedon.
Yeah.
Anyways.
They didn't take the hip bone itself and then give it to Cosima.
Anyways.
Getting a bone marrow transplant, having bone marrow taken out of your body.
I didn't ask for you to correct me right now, okay? So, shush. Anyways, folks. Anyways, Helena got shot, but she healed as well. Like, all the other characters, we haven't seen Sarah heal from any great injury yet. I can't remember right now. But I think she has the same factor as her daughter and her sister, Helena. What makes them very unique. They can heal faster.
She got stabbed right here by Daniel. She got stabbed right there. People almost got her ear chopped off by Daniel until Helena came in.
That's right.
All right. Sarah and Helena, they cannot heal fast. They heal normally.
Because remember.
I think that it's just because the one thing that I've found with the show so far that I can say I dislike is I don't have a good sense of the time frame of when things are happening. You don't really know how I don't feel like they gave me a good sense of how long after Kira got hit by the car did they take her bone marrow. Because remember, they had her tooth first, and that's what they got started with, but then they needed the bone marrow because the tooth only had so much.
Okay, if I'm correct, sorry, Eric, but I think I remember now. When Kira got ran over, it was pretty much winter. When she got the operation, that was around spring to summer. So it must be a couple months.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Because we watched the episodes so close together. Remember, we all watched them like when they first came out. Some of us watched them, but
Right.
all of us watched them. We binge watched, so we're seeing everything one after the other. We're not seeing it weeks apart and having because when you watch a show once a week for many weeks, you kind of get a better sense of when things happen. And since they don't really talk about the date, they don't mention a month or anything like that. They don't even mention a day of the week much. So we don't know how far apart things happen.
Right.
The only thing I could say is when you listen to when they say I have this coming up on this day. This is the first season they had a block party that was coming up, or second season with Allison's play, or something like that. You can hear times like that, or when they say you meet me in 48 hours, you have till sundown, you have this. So it's not even, they don't say you come at Tuesday or you come at March 22nd. They won't say it like that.
It's very confusing too, which I agree.
Yeah, but there is times where they do tell you a point in time and the length of you have this between this. If you don't, something will happen. So they do tell you between a time frame of some sort.
Yeah, there's time frames, but I just don't. Do any of you recall, other than what Izzy said about that it was winter when she got hit by the car, and then it kind of seemed like spring when she was getting the bone marrow? Do either of you recall that? Because I honestly don't remember. So
that's how pretty much I based the time zones on.
You see her wounds.
Being the fact that I watched that episode where she was getting the bone marrow taken out of her body yesterday. I would say that due to the weather, I would say spring.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, and it definitely was winter when she got hit by the car because she had the big coat on and everything.
Right.
There was a decent amount of time between those two events.
I'd say at least 1 or 2 years.
No. Her getting hit by the car.
It would be a couple months.
Her getting hit by the car was during the middle of season 1. Anywhere around episode 5 or 6 is when it happened.
Right.
Of season 1. And since her getting the bone marrow transplant in season 2 was probably 3 episodes before the season finale. It's probably when
right.
So it was 6 to 8 months, maybe.
Yeah. And we meet more casting characters within Sarah's circle, like the birth father of Kira, which is really cool. And at the same time, we meet Rachel's lover in a sense, and he was very, very crazy as hell. And
that's her monitor / lover. That's what
right, and he went to great lengths to get Sarah for Rachel, and he was about to pretty much kill Rachel or whatever he's gonna do in that shower scene because that got me really nervous. Like, what he's gonna do? What's he gonna do?
So he almost killed Sarah, not Rachel.
Well, you know what I'm trying to say.
They all look
alike.
And then of course he gets stabbed in the neck, and Sarah's going like, "Oh, what's that?" And says, "Sees Helena," and I paused it right at the perfect moment where Sarah's facial expression, I swear, it was like this.
Pretty much.
Because she had no idea, why is Helena here? Is she going to kill me? Is she going to help me? Holy shit.
No, she's going like, no, you
and
were
also
dead.
She's like, I killed you. You were dead. How are you alive?
Right, which was really good acting, that part. That was really... she was very afraid of her own character. It was like, damn, this is really good acting right here. And you see Helena not really killing her because for her, she was very exhausted because she escaped the Polythians' compound already early on. And she found her sister, which is miraculously, wow, how did you find her again? I think they're all pretty much connected. I mean, their minds are pretty much linked together, know where to find one, like a beacon or a tracker, something like that. But at the same time, it was really cool that she saved her ass too, because this dude was about to do something to her. And she was covered in blood, which is really, really cool. It makes her like Bloody Mary. And very quickly, and we might have to move on to at the ending of it, which I might have to do that, is that when they had a plan in motion to get Kira, and this pretty much stop Rachel, and we pretty much got to say this all together, that pencil scene was just phenomenal.
Craziness. Loved it.
It was an awesome plan.
That's
Right.
but she is definitely blind in that one.
I want to say this. I was like, what they going to do with Rachel's
I-
eye? She has no eye anymore. She gonna
I
be
am
like
waiting.
the Orphan Black Kano from Mortal Kombat. Gonna have like
Or
a
she'll be,
cyborg in her eye.
yeah, she's
I
gonna be
was
like
wondering.
Solid Snake. She's gonna be like Solid Snake. Like, it's called Rachel Snake now.
They'll just give her a glass eye, but hopefully they don't put a fish in it.
Or a robot eye.
They just eye patch
They give
that
her a
mess.
glass eye. They give her a glass eye. She walks on the scene, and the eye is looking in the opposite direction of her main eye.
Isaiah, I can't believe you didn't even get that.
I got that. Thank you very much.
I didn't because I wasn't really paying attention.
No, you didn't. We'll discuss that later.
Anyways, folks.
Okay, hold up. But I have an important part that we have not mentioned.
Shoot.
My boy Olivier Duval, with his little special tail that he had put on, because he was in Neolution, that was crazy. He had his little tail going, and then they were messing with they had Sarah. They were messing with her. Helena.
He wasn't in season 2. He was killed in season 1.
Well, I didn't remember if it was 1 or 2, so I didn't mention it last week. We didn't
Okay.
Oh, it was
Still talking
season
about
1.
Yeah.
So Helena comes in and switches places with Sarah when Olivier is like not looking or something. So she turns him around and she chops his tail off, and so you see this big old nasty hole from where his tail used to be. It was crazy. And then, but then they were talking about like they didn't know if they could fix it, and I'm like, when you put it on in the first place, you can't fix it. Now,
First off, why would somebody want a tail? I don't want one.
But he was trying to be all hipster. He's trying to be like a hipster slash. Oh, I'm
That's
edgy.
beyond hipster. That's beyond hipster. That's like some, I don't know, new way Gucci type stuff. Like,
some of the people when you see them walking through, when you see them walking through the club, some of the people do have like interesting things. Like some of them had something done with their eyes and like little things that were neat. But like the tail, I just thought that was a little much. I mean, to use.
No. Look at it like this. Look at it like this. I say, like, hey, have you seen my tail? It's by Gucci.
Oh god, that was terrible but funny.
Tail by Gucci.
But
I just gave those guys some new ideas.
right, but
Quick, big tail.
getting back to the pencil scene because I had to stress on this because the pencil scene was pretty much all into works itself because since Kira was already somewhere on the compound and also in the diner that is, and then since Cosima needed help, but she really needed the cure and all that other stuff. You see everyone planning to get back at Rachel, and you see Cosima's lab partner who was really cool in this whole season.
Yeah.
Like, okay, here you go. Here's a knife. Don't look at me. Here you go. He just walked away. And it was all set in motion. It was all set in great motion. And we see Rachel's becoming a total, like a witch itself because, like, she ain't gonna get this anymore because I told you, and I'm whatever. She's trying to be like God towards her own sisters. And to that pretty much that scene with the pencil scene, pretty much put her in her own place. Like, it hurt me. And it was just so weird because it was the same actress playing another actress to do harm to her own self. It's like, man, this is so fucking confusing. But it was so damn good.
I really liked how Cosima went in and sat with Kira and was like, well, why don't we do some science? Because, that's what Auntie Cosima would do. She's a scientist. She's going to teach you science, but she's going to make it fun. So then she said, try to push the pencil through the paper. Okay, now hold it back and then try to do it. And so while she's just having fun, spending time with her niece, she comes up with this idea. So essentially, her niece helps her figure out, this is how we're gonna fuck with Proclone. This is how we're gonna get her. But it's crazy how she was like standing in the perfect spot.
How do they make that shot?
Huh?
First off, shooting a pencil from a fire hydrant is not going to have really good accuracy.
Right.
No, that's what I'm saying. They don't. How
I
did
mean, it depends
know?
about the installation of it, because
Well, Kazima's very.
the force of it is going to happen, but the force is controlled by the tube. It's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to
but
say,
I mean, come on.
concentrated. So I mean,
For them to put
go
it,
ahead.
what if Rachel wasn't standing in that exact spot? What then?
Well, then it wouldn't have happened like that. It's all TV. Come on now.
Well,
It
to be
wouldn't.
honest, yeah.
Well, I mean, come on. Can you fault us for over analyzing this? You
No,
know?
No,
not
because
at all.
actually,
But
well, I have a good reason behind it. I have a good reason. Since Kazima is very, very smart, and she kind of knew the accent, and she also knows how Rachel thinks, because she knows that Rachel's gonna be super, super pissed off at Sarah because again, she can give birth, she can do this, and pretty much she can run her own operation. So she wants to get personal, close and personal towards Sarah, and pretty much do harm to her. So Sarah knew this herself as well. So getting her to that right spot was easy. It was just getting a pencil and a 500 in the same room, which is not easy, but you have to know someone from the inside. That is how she got that. That's how it actually worked, and that is how pretty much Rachel got the eye to the pencil face, because that's how pretty much they know. That's how the clones itself. They know how one clone thinks. So this was pretty much accurate, and it pretty much makes sense though, because Rachel was gonna be all pretty much again crazy, and she was going to come very close to Sarah. So that 500 was pretty much. So that's why it makes perfect sense why it worked.
Yeah.
I know, right? I have to ration that for everyone else. But again, folks, very quickly before we get to season 3, episode 1, I want to make mention of one great episode at the last episode, which is like 2 scenes really. It was the clones dancing, which I love that shit so much. It was very beautiful. It was a beautiful scene. And when Helena got captured and was pretty much Miss S snitched on her. It's like, really, Miss S? Really? Really?
Well,
I want to say she didn't snitch. What she did was she didn't snitch. What she did was make agreements with Paul and his military people that, in the sake of making sure that Hero will be safe and Sarah will be safe, that she would oblige Paul into letting him and his crew take Helena away to whatever the base or whatever they're going to go to. That wasn't cool because shown in the third season, episode 1, season 3. But yeah, that whole thing was a mess. I didn't like that she did that. She's always trying to say for the good of them, for good of Kira, but it's like you got to think of the factors. But it's like she's kept all this stuff from Sarah, so I understand. Mm-hmm. And then Miss Amelia told her something even through the moment she was dying. They don't trust her. Something's up where, like, and she's seeing it. She's seeing it, and she's like, she wants to trust her because that's Miss S. She raised her, but there's things that's coming up. There's too many secrets that you never told me, and she's making too many moves without considering her. It's the same way that Delphine is making moves without considering Cosima. I mean, it's just the same type of thing. It's like I can't trust you like I can because you're not being 100 with me. So. Right,
basically. And again, this is very much why the ending works so much, because Mrs. S is just so secretive. She's a dangerous woman too, by the way. She's a right. You never know. She's a sharpshooter. She's everything else under the sun. She's just badass and super hot in my book.
Now, another character that I like is Cal, the dad, and it was crazy that Kira was just like, "Are you my dad?" Kind of like, I know you are, but I'm gonna ask the question anyway.
Yeah, she's very smart. I mean, she's very, very smart. So yeah.
But there's something else going on with him because.
Right.
So, like, he seemed like he really didn't know. It did seem he did seem like he was taken aback when they showed up, and then, oh my goodness, I have a kid. But I think he has some kind of connection somewhere. Maybe he knows about the male clones and he just wasn't aware of the female clones. I don't know. I want to see what else goes on with him.
I think that theory might be correct, because if you remember, like, how Sarah and Cal met, because she was scamming him because of some money that he came into with this whole this pollination system to be able to help bees and everything. And then his partner sold the technology to the military. Well, since Project Castor is affiliated with the military, he might have come into contact with some of the male clones.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Well, that's what we see at the end, too, by the way. We saw one of the Project Casters from at the ending, because one of the soldiers did look familiar. It's like, why do you look familiar. And they all put two and two together because he was from Prolethean side, and Sarah, who met the one that, right? Thank you. And Sarah met one of them, and I forgot that one lady's house. Oh my God. She is pretty much the head director of Dynalab. Oh my God, her name's a blank to me now. But like,
Marion?
yes, thank you.
Marion Bowles?
Oh, Marion Bowles, yeah.
Yes, she kept him. She kept him pretty much locked and key under her house. It's like, yeah, there's a reason why, because he was fucking crazy, which is true.
Charlotte's mom.
Yeah, because, and also we're gonna call him a nickname too, because we like to. And there's more nicknames for clones for male and female. So the one that I call him is Scar, because he has a really fine scar on the right side of his cheek.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks so demeaning. He looks so. You know what an evil person really is, and an insane person all mixed together. That's what I see. He's just a person who
menacing.
Right. Yeah, but in the same way, he doesn't use brute strength to get to you. He used mental and pretty much psychological attacks, which is going to bleed pretty much into season 3 now, because this one because I like the caster, and pretty much it was a caster episode because it explained, like Delphine explained, that these caster individuals are dangerous. They're pretty much more. They're just more out there. They have more agility than you. They have everything else under the sun than you, because they're male, and from some of them have been trained to be more like assassins, killers.
I think they pretty much all were, because the military made them. So
right.
We can just use them as our army. We don't need some plain old ordinary humans.
Yeah, but that was pretty much the army's pretty much biggest fault, because the male clones, unlike the female clones, the male clones are pretty much more aggressive. And since they're more aggressive, they will plan pretty much against one of their own officials. Like Delphine said, the Scar, the Scar clone, he was so dangerous because he took down 2 highly trained guards before he got captured, because they were trying to kill off Sarah's clones. We still don't know why, but it was still interesting. He knows all of them. He knows all of them. Like, hey, remember Helena? Remember Kazima and all of them? Start counting them, because we're going for them. Which is so like, what the fuck?
Are you talking about when they had him locked up and Sarah went in to talk? He said he'd only talk to Sarah?
Yes.
The reason he did that was because he was like, well, you might want to think about your sisters, start counting your sisters, because he knows that they have Helena. And Sarah didn't know yet that they had Helena.
Right.
And one of the caster clones went and beat the crap out of Siobhan, which
we call him Mustache. We call him Mustache.
Mustache, yeah. She deserved it.
Yeah, he does. But damn, he was really good at because Mrs. S is no pusher. She knows hand-to-hand combat. But this dude was like, damn, he was kicking Mrs. S all over the place.
As pissed as I was that she essentially gave them Helena, at least she's finally fessing up and she told Sarah the truth. Sarah didn't have to find out some other kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. But
yeah, go ahead.
The caster clones it's gonna be interesting.
Right. And really quickly, how Mrs. S said, like, hey, don't turn your back on your people. Like, really? You turn your back on her multiple times. And so Helena to the caster program. So you can go fuck yourself.
Right.
But again, what about you, Charles, and also, what do you guys think of the caster clones and Mrs. S getting beat the shit out of her?
For the caster clones, I'm still not sure about them yet. They are pretty crazy from what I've been able to tell, but we've only seen 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We've only seen 3. And remember, I mean, with the Lita clones, some of them can actually be pretty crazy, like Rachel, also Helena when we first met her. So I would not be surprised later throughout the season 3 we may end up seeing a caster clone who may be actually friendly towards our hero.
That's a really hard thing. I agree with what you're saying, William, but that's really hard to say.
Well, I think we may have already met a friendly caster clone. It's the guy that was from the Prolethean camp.
Mark Rollins. Mark Rollins is friendly. He was really nice to Helena when they had her, and then Heinrich goes and marries her in their own crazy kind of way, and then goes and inseminates Helena with his own sperm, which is crazy. And he also puts more of her eggs and his sperm into his own child, Gracie, who
I
then
thought he was, on that part it confused me because I
That's
thought
disgusting.
he was gonna make her eggs and then Mark's sperm and make a baby. I didn't know she put his sperm and Helena's eggs into her. I was confused. I'm like, what?
The thing
This is like religious cult mentality. They're batshit crazy.
But hold up, and the thing is, though, we didn't know at the time that Mark was a clone because we didn't know about Castor.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right.
Mark. So I thought it was going to be with Mark as well.
Yeah.
But they're Proletheans, and the Proletheans don't like clones. So why did the Prolethean impregnate a clone with his sperm to try to make more?
Well, there's a reason behind it, because since the Proletheans are crazy, zealous people, they were trying to pretty much overpopulate. Not really. Oh, that's a terrible term, but it's overpopulate their ideas onto the world. So with more people on your side, you can pretty much do anything you want at times. So remember his compound. It had a lot of children for good reason.
But
children. Go ahead.
He's probably the father of most of them, if not all of them. No, but
Right.
the thing is, the Proletheans don't like the clones. They want the clones dead. So why would he create more life via a clone? Unless what I'm thinking is that group, Heinrich and them, I'm wondering if they're an offshoot of Proletheans. I don't think that they're Proletheans in the same way that Tomas was. I think that they're a whole, like, you know how you have Amish and you have Mennonite, and while they live similarly, they are very different.
Right.
So I'm thinking that you have Proletheans, and then you have this other group that's like a different kind of Prolethean.
Mm-hmm.
And
I get what you're saying. In a way, because remember that one scene where he was talking to Tomas and he said something about religion and science and his argument within it. So it's the same kind of thing. He believes in the science, bar none. I get that, but then
Which is weird.
The religion part of it, he disagrees with many things of it, but the essence of it, which is more a stretch of a extension of cultness, I think he agrees with because you see his lifestyle. So in that, with the science, he believes in, but at a different level. That's why I think killed Tomas, because it's like your job is done. Let me take over and do what I got to do. And I don't think he hates. I don't think he hates cults per se. Because he was gonna use Helena's as a vessel as well as a tool for her eggs, because her eggs is unique in the way she's a clone. With her sister, they can produce, and those eggs he will impregnate all these young kids who don't, all these moms too, including his daughter, to create more clones. For however whatever, I don't know his goal was necessarily, just to make more kids. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's because I feel like he wouldn't if he hated clones, why make more clones? You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he hated clones.
It's like this. It's like, think about Hitler. When he said, like, the perfect German was blonde, blue eyes, and all that nonsense. I think that's what the Putin was trying to do. Make a perfect, in their own eyes, human. Like, who had the same colors and all that other nonsense. So they was thinking like somewhat like Hitler. Like, the perfect individual is what I think and I assume. So that's what they're pretty much, that's what their goal is pretty much. The perfect human pretty much in their own eyes and get rid of the rest. And
another option, another possibility could be that Heinrich knew about Dyad, and maybe in the past he had worked with them because, again, like Oso said, he is very sciencey. He is really into the science of it. So it's possible that he's kind of like Charles Manson. How Charles Manson convinced all these people to follow him. Charles Manson himself never killed anyone.
Yeah, he brainwashed people.
He brainwashed people and convinced them to do things for him. So I'm wondering, that could be another option, would be that Heinrich is just using all of these people because in the end, maybe he got kicked out of Dyad and said, no, you don't know what you're doing, you can't help us with the clones. So he decided to go another route and start this whole crazy clan of people, And now he's decided, oh, well, the clone stuff that I helped work on worked, so now I'm going to take it back, and maybe that's why he was trying to have the children with Helena. And they don't really necessarily believe in the whole religious aspect, but he's using the religion to make all of the people follow him like the way that Manson had people follow him.
But what about if the Politians are actually working for Castor? Because since they knew who Helena was, and they knew who the other clones, and they had one of the male clones, it's kind of like, wait a minute. So you guys had one of the clones from Castor, and the military project, and you know about something about all this other bullshit that somehow you're supposed to be a religious person, but you know everything about science. Like, wait a minute. Are you working for the military?
Wait a minute. So you're saying Heinrich knew about the other clones? He didn't just know about Helena?
Yeah, because
I didn't know that he knew. I didn't know that he knew about Castor. I thought he just thought Mark was just some kid that was adopted or something.
I don't believe he was. I don't believe that story.
He knew that Mark was AWOL from the military.
He knew he was special, though. He knew he was special. We don't know why he was special. I think he knew he was a clone, and I think he knew Helena was pretty much fertile, just like Sarah. He knew about all of them because he was trying to get Sarah as well. So he knows about the clones. He knows which clones is fertile. He knows which one's a clone. He wasn't stupid. Like, yeah.
So it makes sense. It makes sense that somewhere along the way he was working on the project and maybe got cast out.
I wouldn't say cast out, but used for the military's own goods. Then in Dynalab, because the military, they want men. They want clones of perfect soldier. So I think he knew that in some way. Like, he's just using that whole religious BS just to get more, maybe get more funding from the government because he may want more money or where the case may be because he's dead now. But we don't know what his end game was for people because, come on now, all that money, all that facility, there's no way he could have funded. He could have got him himself. He got funded by someone, another entity, like the government, like the military. We don't know who the military is, who's getting all the soldiers. Is it just one military or a private military? I think it's private because there's no way on earth that someone would do this.
It's like a secret section of the military, probably.
Right.
So
And
I want Whedon's opinion on this. What did you think about when Ethan Duncan was taken in that room to watch the videos about when his little Rachel was a kid and all that, and then so Rachel goes in to talk to him, and then they're going to have tea, but he ends up drinking some kind of toxin and kills himself.
Right.
I actually thought that was good on him. Where basically he said, he told, his final words to her was like, you don't deserve to have me in your life anymore. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's tragic that he killed himself, but I think it was very smart for him to die. Because it could cause Rachel to start realizing certain things. I mean, Rachel is going to take forever to realize these things. You probably won't even realize half of them throughout the rest of this season. But she will end up realizing these things, and she may change her ways.
Maybe.
We can hope.
Maybe.
I hope, because there's so much going on within the first season.
In a nutshell, I think Duncan's death was crucial to Rachel's character development. I thought it was crucial.
That's what I was thinking, but I wanted to see what you thought about that.
Yeah, I agree with Reed, and I agree with you guys. Like, it was for her character development. And since she's pretty much trying to recover, because, again, the pencils do her brain, so it takes someone that...
It didn't hit her brain. Or we did it?
Yeah,
it hit her brain. It went past her brain. It didn't just hit the eye. Because when Delphine was talking to her, and she was going... because part of your brain goes to cognitive.
Yeah,
I think it hit the frontal. It hit the frontal part of it when it passed her cornea and then hit her frontal lobe. So when it hit to one of the cognitive, because she couldn't take her words. She knew what was going on, but she couldn't speak it, and then it's like messed her up.
She was trying to say something with a C, like.
Yeah, and then I was like, Delphine nuts. Put a stab in her eye. Delphine.
Right, that was really fucked up. Like, wow.
Yeah, it was.
Delphine was like.
But it made me squint too at that time because that was just so. It was so raw, and the emotions behind Tatiana as playing as Rachel was so spot on.
I gotta say this right now. Delphi doing that to Rachel, I'm like, oh damn.
I know. I was saying the same thing. Like, damn.
I could definitely see Cosima coming up behind Delphi going like, I am so hot for you right now.
And but I love that she was like, I'm you now.
Which is the sad thing. That's kind of scary. That's really scary.
It's kind of like a big to Rachel.
But
right.
at the same time, you know how you were just saying, you know, Cosima coming up behind her thinking, oh yeah, that's hot. But she's sitting here still acting like she's so into Cosima, but then she goes and tells her, you know, this isn't going to work anymore. You know, the two of them had that talk at Felix's. And when Cosima was talking to one of the guys at Dyad, she was like, look, you know, we have to watch everything for us. We need to be sure that the Dyad is safe. Huh?
It was Dr. I think it's Murin?
Oh, yeah.
Nolan?
Yes.
Something like that?
The guy who, when Sarah was dressed up as Rachel and she was on him with the belt.
That's his name is a cleaner. That doesn't say he was a cleaner.
That was Ferdinand.
Ferdinand.
Oh yes. And oh my God, we almost forgot this one story part that happened but ended. But I think it's going to play a bigger role. It's called Helsinki. Helsinki is like it's pretty much a termination of all the other clones, of female clones of Rachel's own design. So Delphine was trying to stop it as well. However, I don't think
Colonel. That wasn't the Proletheans. That was Dyad themselves killing their own clones. We had two different sides trying to kill the clones now.
Yeah, but now I think the Helsinki, the sting operation is going to be more bigger effect due to the caster program, because if it's like, okay, the Helsinki thing, it's like, okay, it's going to say multiple times in this whole season because Helsinki's pretty much kill all clones. But now we're going to think like, wait a minute, so these clones are pretty much programmed to kill these other clones now, because it looks like they were prone to do this. Because since Scar, caster Scar, go ahead.
I don't think Helsinki was that. I think because since they said Helsinki happened in 2006, so this has happened before. I think Helsinki was code for eliminate the clones, basically, because who initiated Helsinki again? Who was Rachel? She asked that prior to her incident. She initiated for Ferdinand to come in to help initiate Helsinki. Because I don't think Delphine even knew it was going. That she knew about Helsinki from 2006. She didn't know it was going to happen again. Because when they found out, then she tried to stop it. And
Delphine thought that. But remember, Delphine thought that Rachel didn't know about Helsinki. Right. But in fact, Rachel did. And like you said, Rachel was the one who was trying to have it happen. But at the same time, well, Rachel... you may be pro-clone, but you're still one of them. So does that mean that you're supposed to be killed too then?
Right. And so there's just so much plots going on, and also, Kazima's actually going to keep a secret from her own sisters and Delphine as well, because she has the clone. She has the recipe book of
I loved that whole thing. How they did that. Because that was what I was going to lead into when I asked Whedon about what did he think about Ethan killing himself. Because he made sure to leave that information with somebody who knew what they were doing. He knew that the little girl could kind of sense if somebody was okay or not. He knew the little girl was going to get that book to somebody who should have it. And she did. She got it to Auntie Cosima.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's best that she kept that. I feel it's best that Duncan did give it to her.
Yeah.
And then Kiara gave it to Cosima, and that Cosima and her classmate or working together to do it and not tell everyone else, because we don't know. Heaven forbid if they get compromised. Let it keep to the people who know what the heck this stuff means and who can decipher this to help her cure her and probably others. I think it's best that keep it in house, keep it away from Delphine, keep it away from everyone else that may get in trouble for it or may use it against. I think.
Right, and also I think her and Scott, I think their friendship's going to develop more, because if you think about it, she's the only one who actually. He's the only one that.
They're not going to date, Isaiah. They're not going to date.
No,
I'm not going to say date. No. I'm not talking about that.
Friendship. I think that Scott is going to become a bigger character. He's going to
Oh
be.
God, I hope so. I hope so because that character is so underused.
I really like Scott.
I like Scott too.
I'm hoping that Scott is going to be used a lot more, and that he's going to end up helping cure Cosima.
That'd be cool.
Or maybe like it would suck because I love Cosima. But it would be interesting if Cosima got so sick that she couldn't even do anything, so she's just in a hospital bed. But then all of a sudden, Scott comes through with the cure, and maybe even Kira helps him because
Right.
Kira seems oddly intelligent.
Very intelligent.
Like even though she's so young, she just gets things. It seems like knowledge comes very easily to her.
Mm-hmm.
So because and kids have a more open mind about things, they more readily accept things. So it would be really interesting if they had Kira help with it.
Right.
Like if
And
Kira
what-
connections between like a little drawing that Ethan made with next to a word that was in the book, that Kira could come up with, oh well maybe he meant blah blah blah.
Right.
And that was
What-
that was his reason for giving her the book.
And right, and I also talk about why I think Scott and Cosima. I don't think it's relationship or dating. I think it's between good friends. Yes, I get that, but again, you see how they're pretty much he's sticking by her by all means, and he's not really betrayed her trust by any means, like how Delphine was, and she can trust him no matter what. So to me, I don't think it's a relationship by any means. I think it's something more developed, like more than a friendship, but nothing like a relationship. So something in the middle. You know what I mean?
They're gonna be besties.
In a way, yes. Or sex buddies.
Nah.
Hey, it can happen. It can happen.
He likes the V, not the D.
Hey, she can always take up some sides.
Well, no. Delphine, I wouldn't really say is full-blown lesbian. I think she's just bi.
She's a,
Is bi. Yes.
I think Delphine's not really into the
I
whole
think
nonsense.
Delphine found Cosima. I don't think she's bi. I think this is the first time, unless you see her with some other chick, then maybe you could say something else. But I don't feel like I don't feel Delphine is gay. I don't think so. I think she did. I do think she sincerely cares immensely for Cosima. And so I think she's gay for Cosima, but not
She's
gay or bi.
Right.
She did say earlier on that Cosima was the only woman that she'd ever been with.
Right, right.
She got to catch a few more girls on her belt for her to consider be bi or something else. But
Yeah, same
Hey,
here.
hey. All it takes is once.
Exactly. All it takes
doesn't.
one
No,
time.
it doesn't.
All it takes one time. You start a forest fire.
That's dumb. That's like saying it takes you one time to get addicted to something.
Hey! You never know. Cosima can get some D. Hey, it only takes one time.
Hold on.
Well, I did smoke
Wait a
weed for like 6 months and I never got addicted. So.
So Izzy looked at you once and got addicted, so we know it's possible.
Yes, it's possible. Look at me.
Okay.
Anyways, okay. Before we end this, pretty much this awesome discussion off, we're going to talk about a little briefly about wild speculations or any theories that we have for the coming season of season 3 of Orphan Black. So I'm gonna start with Whedon because he always forgets.
I got nothing.
Thank you for nothing. Anyways, also.
Okay. I feel it's gonna be I think Helena's gonna show off all of them. I think she's gonna beat up some Castor clones. She's gonna go back with her sisters. And I know also, we didn't talk about this. I don't know. Are we talking about season 3 now, or we talked
Yeah,
about
we
it?
talk about anything.
Okay.
We ain't lost
It's
my
gonna
case.
happen, yeah.
I like the opening scene of season 1. Episode 3, season 1. Episode 1, season 3.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they were all, it was like hyper. It was like their personalities times 5. It was like Sarah's overly like this, chilled out, and then with glasses on, and then you see Cosima looking like some folk classic type chick, and then you got Helena happy to be pregnant. You
That
got
was
you got Allison, just being the baker woman, just like, oh, it's okay, I got all this shit for us, and then you see Felix tidied up. It was very nice, and then like realizing it's all a dream.
right until you saw the scorpion, which is really interesting. Like, what? The scorpion's talking to her, which is weird, but actually really cool. So we're gonna learn more about her, pretty much her imagination scorpion, her imagination scorpion friend, that is.
I'm wondering if they drugged her, and that's why she thinks it's talking to her.
No, she wasn't being drugged because she had a really. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead there.
I was gonna say, like, because she had a really extensive conversation with the scorpion, and actually the scorpion knew more about Helena, and also like she knew about her sister and everything else. Because if this was like a drug that happened to her just now, the scorpion would know something about her sister, but not everything. But
no, I think it's a hallucination. So anything that
it was a hallucination because when they opened that thing, there was no scorpion in there when they opened it, and when the Cascone looked down at her, I think Miller, when he looked down and saw her, there was no scorpion in there. I think it was imagination.
But again, it is imagination because the scorpion, again, actually, because I forgot what the scorpion said specifically, but she said somewhere where she helped her out, like Helena, that is, in the past. So I'm thinking like the scorpion must have been around much longer that she had not really talked to or really much discovered because she was always interacting with her other sisters. So the scorpion, it could be like a past imagination or past something, but you know. I mean, what you have for like theories and speculations for season 3 of Orphan Black?
Who?
You.
Oh, I am interested in seeing Kira and lost her name. Hold on.
Sarah?
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Okay.
I'm interested in seeing Kira and Charlotte get together.
Yeah.
Because Kira is the child of a clone. Technically,
Charlotte is Kira's aunt.
Well, they call her aunt, but technically her DNA is the same as her mother's. You know, she calls them the aunts, but I think it would be interesting to see what goes on between the two of them. And also, Charlotte is another clone of the Lita faction, but why is she only 8? Why did they make more? Did they make adjustments to any of the genetics? What went down with that? Is there something different about her than the other Lita clones?
Well, actually, I forgot. One at the lady's house, the other daughter. Well, quote unquote, she adopted that child who was the same genetic coding as Kira and Sarah. She's actually the youngest of all the clones. And
realize that Charlotte is basically all the clones when they were 8 years old, because when you look at that 90 from some 91, it was the same girl, same looking girl. It was her. It was Rachel at age 8 or not, something around that age. So basically, all of them at age 8. I believe it was 9 years ago that they found they were doing all these experiments. Charlotte was the only one survived. That's why they was able to make her be a baby, and she grew to age 9. Same time, I guess, when Sarah got pregnant and had Kira. Same, they're both the same age.
However, that actress who
Charlotte's
plays
11.
No, Charlotte's 8.
No, Charlotte's 8. You're right. No, I haven't.
And also, the actress who played Charlotte, she was younger. She was young. She did portray the younger Rachel.
Right.
So having those two actors who do look the same, pretty much played by the same person, by the way, it also proves that one theory that all of the clones will always look the same, no matter which gender they're from, where the case. They only change their hair color, and that's it. Or if they have glasses, whatever. They're all going to be the same genetic code. They're like, look at Beth, look at Sarah. They're identically the same. Helena, go ahead.
But what I'm saying is, because Charlotte is only 8 and the others are 20s or so, 25.
30s, 20s, and so like
I would say late 20s, 28.
Okay, so they're late 20s.
Yep.
And Charlotte is only 8. So, in the time as Sarah and all of them were growing up, did Project Lita edit the coding, edit the synthetic DNA before making Charlotte?
That's a good question. We don't know yet. That's a good question.
I don't think they would, because that's pretty much destroying a perfectly good copy of a clone.
But wait a
Which
minute.
is pretty
No,
much.
it's not. Because they knew that there was going to be an issue with the clones, how Cosima is sick, because of what they had to do to get them to be sterile. So maybe they were editing something and trying to make a new version. Like, you know how you have 2.0, 3.0, whatever. Maybe, and they said that there had been another set, the whole Helsinki thing was another set of clones. Were those clones started before Sarah's group or after Sarah's group? So Sarah's group might be 2.0 and Charlotte might be 3.0. And the ones that were killed in Helsinki were 1.0, and something was wrong with them, so they had to kill them all.
Right, right. That could be
Well,
true.
yeah, I hear what you're saying. Unless those clones in 2006 were, depending on what age they were killed off. It had to be because Sarah would have been in her teens during that time. Sarah and all of them would have been around their teens
Right.
to
Mhm.
late teens to early 20s. So flash forward to now, so yeah, it could have been around that time when that Helsinki, if it was that set of clones, yeah, it could have been around that time where they killed them all off, whatever the reason was, yeah. But I do hear what you're saying. Yeah, it could be that they try to redevelop her, and then if they did redevelop Sarah's gene, they probably took stuff and added stuff out to make sure that Charlotte don't end up with what Cosima
Right.
has and all the other. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
She's still technically DNA-wise the genetic identical, but other things in the genome that don't necessarily make up their actual DNA itself
Right,
have been altered.
right. And
Yeah, keep all the good stuff, take the bad stuff. Yeah.
right.
Otherwise, what would be the point in making one more?
Well, you never know.
So her storyline is going to be very interesting to see.
Right. Also, the end is you know,
I definitely want to see more of Cal, and I'm really hoping that he doesn't end up being a dick and being on the side of Castor.
well, that'll be interesting if he was. That'll explain more of his character, which will lead into you know,
Or if he is, I hope he uses that to the advantage and sneaks in and helps out the clones.
that'd
I
be
also want to
interesting.
see more from Colin. I want to see Felix get with his little,
His flamboyant self.
with Colin. Colin
Right.
is the one from the morgue. I want to see more from Colin. I think
Yes.
Colin can help out with something.
Yeah.
He knows about the body. So,
Right. And so, my speculation to end this all night off is that I think Castor is going to play a really, really important role of the clone's creation because we don't know who was created first at the time. It could have been the female or the males, but whatever the case may be, the clones, well, the male clones, they don't seem sick. Unlike they didn't really alter anything, something like that. Because I think the military wants to pretty much populate them more because since they're so good assets, and they learn faster and everything else. Like they're the perfect soldiers. But at the same time, I think Castor itself is going to evolve into a much bigger threat, not just towards the clones, but towards
in general.
like world. Yeah, because we'll have to become like terrorist groups. We'll have to become like this and that. Because they work very, very linked together. Their minds are linked because they know how to track down people. You know how to do trick one or another. Because if you remember, the Scar clone of Castor he wasn't really worried or anything because he knew he was locked up. But for why? If you look at why his reasons were, like he wanted to speak to Sarah and pretty much not give her a message and threaten her in a way. And he always got to wait for his other clone, which he did show up. And he's like, wait a minute, how did he get there so fast? And he's like, I think they're all mentally linked. And very skilled too, very beyond skilled, more than skilled than the military itself. Because the Frenchie clone with the mustache, he came out of nowhere, and pretty much demolished someone, maybe scene of the other guards. And we don't know what happened to the other the lady of the house and her daughter because like, wait a minute, she's in the basement of her house. But at the same time, this mofo is knocking down mofos left and right who are highly trained, but he's more trained than them because he saw how he just sniped that black guy from out of nowhere. Like, oh snap. Like, what? How did you? What? And so now the hunt is on now because they're going to hunt for them and kill them. And I think Paul knows about Castor, but I think he's trying to get a better grip of them. Pretty much saying like, hey, stop what you're doing. And they're so like, fuck you. We're more skilled than you, which is true. And so for me, I hope I see Cal. I hope I see a lot of male individuals who pretty much will explain the plot or pretty much help the female clones out, because there's nothing against like the female clones, but from my own perspective, I think the male male clones are more psychopathic. They're more of everything, because we saw the military clone, we saw the one in the military.
More aggressive.
Thank you.
I'm also interested, real quick, I'm also interested to see what happens, because remember, Mark Rylance married Gracie Johansson, and Gracie is pregnant with a child who is Helena and her father. Is made from Helena and her father. So I'm interested in finding out, are they going to run away? Is she going to let her dad keep the kid? Is she,
her dad was dead. He was dead.
What?
I thought he was dead because he was tortured and pretty much killed.
Oh, that's right. But I mean, is she going to let the group, the Proletheans, have the kid? Is she going to run away? Is she going to try to help the clones? Like, what's she going to do? I hope they have more information for Gracie and Mark. I hope they're in this season.
I think they are, because Mark, he plays a very important role. We don't know how and why, but since he got other clones just like him, but more dangerous, more skilled, we don't know. We're going to know how they're all going to meet together. That's going to be the most beautiful thing of all, because there's going to be so many other male clones. They'll be parallel opposites from Sarah's clones.
Yeah.
So, to me, in my own book, the original clones, to me, like the original part of it, is Helena and Sarah, because they can give birth. The other ones cannot. And while the one with the scar and one in the military, I think they're pretty much like the core self clones, because since they're so pretty much physically fit and skilled, they pretty much pass that trait to other clones. So the war has started, and we pretty much don't know what the hell's going to go on, because does Dynalab know about Castor, which we think we do, and will they stop?
News about Castor.
And will they stop this military force? I highly doubt that, because they're more powerful and have more funding than Dynalab, if you think about it. So I'm going to end this on a high note, because I very much loved all the people who came by, which is Whedon, also my love interest, and Emmy, the crazy sister that I already knew. So by all means, folks, we're going to end this night. Again, I want to thank my panelists for joining me for this great evening of Orphan Black Season 2 and Season 3. And we're going to get the hell out of here and get some sleep, because I'm tired, and I'm tired of looking at my own damn face. So by all means, folks, do keep it locked, loaded, and very warm for all of us, because we'll all be back for another episode of Isaiah Zone / Emmy / also / Whedon Who Loves Ponies.
Bye-bye.
Bye.